What is happening, my epic people, and welcome back to the Triple Lock channel. I hope you've all been doing epic as possible and surviving the colder months without riding your motorcycles. And as such, I thought I should do a little video on returning to riding after some time off, a little bit of a break, some hiatus, because not everybody wants to ride around in the cold months, not everyone wants to ride around in the winter, because sometimes it's just pants, doesn't feel very nice. So let's get on the move. So yeah, as I was saying, so you're returning to riding, your nerves are kicking in a little bit fresh to it again, and just need to jiggle your memory a little bit, your muscle memory, and you know, your awareness, your road awareness, your coordination, hand-eye coordination, depth, all the other stuff in between. You know, just getting used to the controls again, which is understandable. It's not something you are born to do, so every now and then we will need refreshers and this, that and the other. So where do you really begin with this? Well, it depends on your level of nerves, of course. You know, if you're quite a confident character and you don't mind sort of getting out there and throwing yourself in the deep end, which is not something I'd always recommend, but I would recommend is if you're a little bit newer, maybe a bit fresher, a little bit less confident, and that is okay. Maybe to start off with your local roads, the ones you know very, very well. Start around just nice and slow, just get that pace back up again, get that feeling, because that's what riding a motorcycle is, it's a feeling. It's not something that you can ever plan how it's ever gonna go, because every ride's different. Different things in your way, different observations, and you have to adapt all the time. So start with the ones that you do know, which is your roads, your local roads, the ones that you know inside out, like where all the little the markers are that you set inside your own head. We all do that. You know the speed limits, potentially where a certain pothole is, or a drain or whatever, just things that you're familiar with. And I think that would be a good start. And then start to branch out, maybe go on to some of the sort of more faster roads, a bit more of an adventure, go on some unknown roads, get that feeling back of being able to recognize turning points and things like that. That would be very, very useful, because then it retrains your brain again on how to navigate without knowing what it's like around a corner, for example. So then it's half your battle won. And then also meet up with your friends so you can look out for each other, do some bits and pieces together, set up nice formation and see how that feels. Get out and about together, go on a bit, maybe longer distance, a bit of touring. And the other thing I would suggest, and it's something that I regularly do and I like to do it, is I like to go down to the car park, which you've probably seen in my previous videos, and lay down some cones and practice my slow speed stuff, my braking, my emergency braking, without the fear of a car being behind me. I don't want to practice it only in the moment. I want to practice it beforehand so I can get myself back familiar with it all again. And set myself nice little targets. Can I stop quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker? Can I set my cones a little bit tighter so I can, buzz around through and doing the slalom course and this and the other. And for those who have done your direct access or your full license, you'll be very much familiar of all the cone exercises, so lay that out. And if you're not yet familiar with the Mod 1 cone exercises, and you are still on a CBT, for example, then the best thing to do is check out the course. You can tap it in online, but I'll pop a picture up now for you, and have a look at that and lay your cones out as such. And that way, when it comes to the time of your test, you'll be ready. What we got here? Nice brightly light bike, a bit modern. It's Kawasaki. Just got that little glimpse of green. So as you can see, people are starting to get back out and about, but it's not exactly the warmest yet. It's still fairly chilly in the air. My hands are still getting a little bit cold. not quite as cold as when you're right in the thick of the winter, but it's still there. So as we now start to get ourselves back out and about, one caveat that I should really throw in here, because we're all quite guilty of it, is that overexcitement, you know, of where you haven't been on a bike for a while and you're just so eager, you cannot wait to get back out there and ride, that you forget yourself, you forget about your own abilities, which you've probably seen in my previous video of the Dunning-Kruger effect, where you know you start to feel that your ability is better than it actually is. And the way to conquer that realistically is to just pull yourself back down a peg and tell yourself that you're not, even if you might be. Just pull yourself down a peg, and that's the best way, I think, for faster progression. To give yourself a reality check a little. You know, I do it, and I'm sure many other experienced riders all do the same thing. So just get yourself back familiar with your bike again, and familiar with the rules of the road and the layouts, and you know how people behave again. Silly sausage on the other side of the road. Pop it down in the comments, guys. I want to know this, because if it's just, I don't understand if it's just me. I know people are not aiming to kill anybody else on the road, but it does almost sometimes seem that cars do just edge onto the other side of the road all the time. It's not like the odd car here and there, it's so many, and you think you've got all that space, but they always edge towards the centre. It drives me nuts. You know, I don't believe I do that while I'm in my car. I just don't. So do pop it down in the comments. I want to hear how you guys drive, and if you're anything like that, or is it just me and my imagination, because it just seems that so many people do it, unless they are out to get me. Maybe I just got one of them faces. So, but that's what I'm talking about. It's getting yourself back familiar with how people behave, people's mannerisms, and you know what they're actually like out and about here in comparison to how maybe you're riding. And also, if your skill set is diminished ever so slightly, or even quite a bit, because you just haven't been on it for that long, you know, it's a good reality check for your own skill set to go, right, I need to improve on this, and this, because we all can. And I just think it's not something you necessarily might think about before you get back on your bike. You might not be sitting there thinking, oh yeah, actually, hang on, there are a few things that I'm gonna need to get some practice back in, you know. At the end of the day, you're only human. And then once you've been out a few more times and you start to get that flow back again, and everything just starts falling back into place. You know, I know my first 5-10 minutes, half an hour, couple of hours maybe, until I maybe stop again, my riding's a little bit less skilled than what it is later on. You know, as I start getting a bit more amped up, a bit more pumped, and you know, start getting that flow again. And I think any more of our experienced riders will definitely understand what I'm talking about. And this bike is just epic, an absolutely epic piece of kit. Don't get wrong, this is not what the video is about. It's not about this motorcycle, but you know, you've got to admit, this is a beautiful machine. You can't help but think it's amazing. Very, very lucky. Very, very privileged. Certainly do appreciate the position I'm in, that I get to ride around on these things. So quick caveat, thank you very much to Lind BMW in Norwich for allowing me to do my vids on these bikes. So it's just a little food for thought for you guys, really. Just remembering that it has been a while since you've been on a bike, and sometimes you might just need that little memory jog, because we all do. Just like I haven't been doing my videos for a while. You know, it's either been too cold, or on the days I want to go out it's too wet, or I've had work to do, or I'm just too knackered from work. So, you know, I've got to remember how to do my videos again, you know, get my flow back. Because the last thing I want to do is put out stuff that is just not good enough quality for you guys. so that when you're watching it, you're thinking, oh god, what's happened? What the hell's happened to this, to the quality of the channel? It's meant to be getting better, not worse. Anyway then guys, look, I just want to wrap this up before I go into Tesco to go grab myself some stuff for the weekend. But to sort of wrap this up in a nutshell, don't let your ego prevent you from thinking that you could go and learn a bit more. By all means, scan through my videos, and there are many others there on YouTube for you to have a look at. Have a chat with some other riders, some more experienced riders, even some riders who, you know, ride all year round. Would be definitely good to pick up some tips from. And if need be, by all means, drop me a message on Instagram, or post up something on the community part of the page, and let's have a little chat about things. Doors always open for advice, tips, tricks, whatever you need. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.